Okay, the last group of ratios we're going to talk about have to do with the equity portion, and well, they're used in stock evaluations, stuff like that. First one of these is EPS, which equals earnings per share. What that does, you take the total earnings, the number of outstanding shares of stock, okay, and you divide one into the other. Earnings divided by total outstanding. Stop. What it gives you is, well, the net income per share of outstanding stock. The next is the PE ratio. This is arguably the quickest and easiest ratio for evaluation on the pricing of a stock. What this is, it's price per share over earnings per share. Now, in the world today, to give you some kind of basis, some kind of barometer, companies that are extremely consistent in their earnings will have something around a 20 PE ratio, okay, more or less. For instance, Pepsi, Johnson & Johnson, companies that you know they're going to bring it next year and the following year and the following year, but you also don't really feel like they're going to bring all that much more. They're going to do what they're going to do. Very predictable. We were talking about risk earlier. Their risk is minimal. Okay? Other companies, couple of the airlines have...
Boeing.
Where's Boeing at?
Probably on the other side of that equation, because they're insane risk. Because you've got like the 787 having all those problems. They got the new tanker for the Air Force having all the craziness going on.
Not only that, the airline industry
yes
is having, in fact, what I was going to say is, last time I checked, United and I think it was Continental were right around 5 to 6 PE ratio, which indicates very high risk. The market doesn't have a lot of faith in their, well, continued existence for that matter. It's a risky proposition. Sears, very risky proposition. Other organizations, for instance, Facebook had 72, 73, something in that range as of a couple of days ago. Now what that indicates is that there's an expectation that their profitability will increase huge, okay? And if they can figure out a way to generate significant revenue, their profitability will increase huge, as we talked about. The other side of the coin, Amazon. Per share. Their earnings per share is very, very small. Remember, 0.5 cents for every $1 of revenue? So if your earnings per share is very small, then maybe your price per share doesn't have to be that outrageous. If the marketplace thinks that you can increase your earnings per share even a little bit, relatively speaking, it justifies what may be a 300 PE ratio. Okay? Google has about a 30 PE ratio, but part of the reason for that is their earnings per share is huge. Okay? So you have to look at all aspects and understand what you're looking at. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about with regard to the marketplace, the stock market in particular. And that's called market valuation. Now, the market valuation is, in effect, what the entire marketplace values a company at. Okay? Now, let's be clear. What should a company's valuation be based on? Future cash flows, or future income, if you want to simplify it a little bit. Peachy. Market valuation is